Welcome back to Mentors Among Us. I'm Bradley, and today I have Mr. Zarol Baby Ox Alfiyan here with me in the podcast.
Hello everyone, I'm Zarol Alfiyan. I'm 25 years old. Well, currently very stressed from MCO. But yeah, I'm still studying and doing stuff right now, yeah.
Okay, I want to start with this question that I've been saving to ask you. And I texted you on social media. I said that, hey bro, I've been stalking you for a while. It's because I thought you'd be a perfect guest for the podcast. And one of the things that I found online about you is a Reddit post. And it's a Reddit post on this subreddit called Lady Boner. Bro, legit. I think you guys can go search it online. It's called Lady Boner.
It's so many.
And the title is Zarol Bringing the Thickness. And the thickness is spelled as THICCCNESSS.
It's not thick, it's thick.
It's a very sexy pose of you lying down and man spreading. And
Yeah, it was in one of the old gym that I used to go to.
Okay. So everyone can do some Googling if you want a piece
Yeah,
of
I'm
Zarol.
surprised because my friend told me, right, Zarol, I think you should try and Google yourself. And I was like, oh wow, there's more than just that. Like if you just go to the images, there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, no nudes or whatever, no leaked. Don't worry. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. But this brings me to the first question I want to ask you about. I am somewhat in the fitness industry. I'm not as front-facing as you are, not as popular as you are.
Not really, thank you.
Would you say this is body shaming though? And the reason I say that is because you're a large person. And again, I hesitate to say that because I think we are in a very PC kind of time today, right?
What's PC?
Politically correct and everything can be deemed as wrong.
So annoying, I hate that actually.
Yeah, would it be offensive if someone said, hey bro, wow, besar bro? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I worked for it. And obviously, I want people to say those things. I mean, as long as they don't shoot like, why do you go to the gym? I mean, I know you gym a lot, but you're still fat. That is different. The context is different already. Okay. But if you say like, dude, you're so big, this and that, can you just like teach me or something? That's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay. Because I got that a lot and I feel great about it actually. Yeah.
So you would say the context of the statement matters lah. If someone just come out and say, oh, besar.
And also the energy as well.
What do you mean by energy?
Like if he goes like, Bradley, I think you're too big. Or, dude, you're too big. You know the energy.
Yeah.
The second one is so much better. Like, I'm surprised, I'm shocked. But the first one is like, can you just not get any bigger? You get what I mean?
Yeah. I would assume that the people saying that would be your family members or close friends. Is that true? Or
my family members are fine with it. I mean, most of my family members are big. We're kind of like, plus size, on the plus size side. But my friends are fine with it. I have much bigger friends and it's mostly those people on dating sites. Yeah.
Okay.
They're just like, you're nice, you're this, you're that, but you're a bit too big. Oh, so you get the idea now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that makes absolutely
no sense.
No sense because I mean, if you're on a dating site, you probably haven't met the person in real life. Why were you being such a dick about it?
I mean, there's a few times when I went out on a date, all right, a few days before. That person told me that I'm a bit too big for him, all right. And suddenly, when we hung out or whatever, he felt my energy. He knew what I was as a person. He said, you're funny, you're very bubbly and those kind of things. And they started liking me. And to me, that's a huge turn off because you told me that, oh, you're not my type. And suddenly you change your mind. And I don't like that. Yeah, I really don't like that. So it happened a few times. Yeah.
That's one of the main topics I want to talk about today because I feel that our community, and I say our community in a very broad sense of fitness, powerlifting, bodybuilding, it's a lot about improving ourselves, but it can come from a place of superficiality as well. And I personally struggle with this because I think it is a good thing that we are working to improve ourselves, ultimately our health, but it is also quite damaging in the long run mentally if that becomes the be all end all reason we are doing this, right?
I mean, I've been in the industry for a long time. Started when I was 14 years old, and I'm 25 now. I think if you start late, let's say, I'm not saying it's late or whatever, but let's say if you start when you're 22 or 20 plus or whatever, you're still very new in the industry, you will have this kind of feeling. But if you start very early and you've been in the sports or industry for a long time, your mind starts to change, the focus starts to change. You don't have this, well, you still do have the, vanity or whatever, superficiality. It's just not as bad because you have other things to think of. It's not just like, let's say if someone new just started going to the gym or whatever, the focus is always to look good. But versus someone who's been in the gym for a long time, they know how things work. It's not easy. It's not this and that. So the mindset will split. It's not just into looking good, but there's other things as well. Yeah, you get what I mean?
Yeah. Especially with your background of being a competitive athlete, right? Which brings me to what is supposed to be question 1. Okay, so if someone comes and hit you up at a bar and asks you what you do, right? What would be your response?
In a bar.
Maybe an elevator pitch somewhat like, hey man, what do you do?
Am I tipsy or drunk or sober?
Maybe after one drink.
One drink, that's fine. I usually go to, I reply them like, I'm studying at the same time I'm juggling 2 jobs. Well, used to because of the MCO, but I would say the same thing anyway. Juggling 2 jobs, part-times and everything. And yeah, just basically just trying to do things that I enjoy and trying to find new things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very chill and simple. Yeah.
What are the 2 things that you do? What are the 2 things that you're doing now as a job, juggling 2 jobs?
Well, I'm still coaching. Some of my clients are very fortunate. They have home setups and whatnot. And my other thing is just like anything temporary work, like freelancers kind of stuff. Because you can't be choosy at this kind of situation right now. Unless if the person asks me like, oh, do you do any sports? Then I'll start to dive into the topic more. Yeah, because what do you do is very general. But some people actually come to me and ask me like, do you do any sports, this and that? Do you go to the gym? And then I'll start elaborating. Okay. Yeah, I'll start telling them more. Like, I do strongman, I do powerlifting. It's been so many years of doing that and I enjoy it, still doing it. Yeah.
And you're not really, you don't talk about this a lot, but Zarol is a strongman. And correct me if I'm wrong, you won Malaysia's strongest man a few times.
Yeah.
When did that begin? When did that whole journey begin for you?
It's a long story actually. Let's just say I live with my grandparents since I was a kid. So over the weekends, my uncle would always bring me out. And he happened to work with Volvo truck company. And he got invited to come and watch the World's Strongest Man in 2002. I think it was held in Bukit Bintang. And it was over the weekend and he brought me. I was 7 years old. 7 years old at that point of time. I had no idea on what was going on. I saw big guys. I saw trucks being pulled, giant tires, those kind of things. So the journey started to begin from there. Not really there, but there was like, the idea behind everything. And then I started doing rugby at 13 years old or so. And I broke my wrist. After 2 months of recovery, there were 2 doctors actually. One told me to get surgery and install a metal plate. Another one told me to just start doing strength training. And well, I went to the gym. I had no idea, no guidance or whatnot. So I just started doing my own things, this and that. Pretty sure they were all wrong. Anyway. And then one day I was just sitting on the bench. They have flat screen TV on the wall. And they showed Strongman and I had a massive flashback. I was like, I think I've seen these guys before. Like, I swear I've seen them. And then I went back home. I went to see my late granny. And I asked her, like, have I seen this show or people before? And she was like, yeah, you did when you were young, like very, very young. And that triggered the interest,
Okay.
That sparked the interest. And also at 14 years old, I was training for like, 3 months or 6 months and I started lifting 200 kilos.
What
Some
lift is
people,
this?
I did lift.
That lift 200 kgs.
At 14 years old, in 6 months training. So I felt like much stronger than anyone else around my age, or maybe slightly older. So I started going more and more and more. That's how it started, I guess.
Okay, okay. So your journey as a athlete began when you realized that you needed to work out to kind of fix your wrists.
Yeah.
And from that humble beginning, you became strongest man in Malaysia.
Yeah.
What's missing in that story? Wait, there needs to be some link. Okay, so you started deadlifting 200 kgs.
Yeah.
Did someone scout you to be like a strongman? Hey, bro, I think you can win this competition or something.
Not really. It all came from within, because at that point of time, strongman, powerlifting, strength sports in general are not known. Even up till now, it's not super famous, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's improving. So when I was like 14 years old, at that point of time, 15 years old, I felt like everyone's doing bodybuilding. Everyone's focusing on looking good. And I'm a kid and I enjoy doing things. I mean, when you play rugby, you know you like to get smashed and smashing people on the field, those kind of things. You like something rough and aggressive, extreme. So I told myself, like, why not I just go home and just watch some videos and see if I would like powerlifting or strongman. And yeah, I watched the videos, whatnot, learn everything on my own. Even up till now, I'm still learning. I fell in love with it. And as I continuously train, I didn't see myself getting weaker. I see myself getting stronger and stronger and stronger until the point where I was 17 years old and I deadlifted 300 kilos. Yeah. And then I'm still going and still going. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really something that really, what do you call this? Pushed me. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel very driven.
I hear you say that it seems to me like you had three pillars of a competitive outlet when you were younger. You had rugby initially, which led you to also try out powerlifting, and then ultimately also strongman, right?
Correct.
Okay. What was the first biggest title you won in the strongman competition? Do you recall it?
Yeah, I can recall almost everything. When I was 16 years old, that was my first strongman competition. So basically, I did a strongman competition before I do powerlifting. Yeah, it was in Putrajaya actually. It was a small competition. I mean, it was a start of all of the rest of the competitions out there. I think if I recall correctly, there were like 60 athletes or so.
So Malaysians or worldwide?
Yeah, Malaysians, and I had I made friends, Singaporeans. They came over to compete as well. Surprisingly, for a little sprout I was back then, 16 years old, I got third place out of 60 people.
What was the age category for this competition?
18 and above, open edge. And then the thing is, I actually asked them, "Can I compete?" And they were like, "You need your consent letter from your guardians." So I had to make consent letter as well.
So otherwise, you wouldn't be able to compete in the 18 and above competition.
Correct.
So correct me if I'm wrong. You were 16, and then you had consent to compete in the 18 and above.
Yeah.
And once you did that, you got third place.
And then a few months after that, I went to Singapore for a powerlifting competition. Well, I finished second because I was 16 and I was competing with the
30, 40-year-old guys.
And I didn't lose by much. So it was like, 10 kilos difference or whatever. So I felt like, I'm just going to keep going. And after that, I think 2 weeks later, I went to Sabah for Sabah Strongest Man. That was, the events are grueling. Much more events, tougher things to do. I finished 7. I still remember at that point of time, 16 years old, no money, this and that, expenses. And my friend's dad actually sponsored me for flights.
Wow.
I was very grateful. I went there, competed. Well, as a young kid, you're always like, very eager and very hopeful. And you thought that you'd do super well. Until I finished 7th. Out of like 25 people, I think. I went to the side and I cried, 16 years old. And I told myself, next year I get top 5. And I got top 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the biggest ones that I can recall was Singapore Strongman. I went there, I think about 80 athletes, but you have to go through qualifiers. Okay. If you're in the top 10 finalists in the finals, you get to go to the final round.
Which is the same day or 2 days later?
No, it's about like a month or 2 months later.
got it.
They'll call you. But that's the thing. I went there. There were like 80 athletes or 70. They did it at the army camp. So it was huge, spacious and whatnot. A lot of competitors. First time I went there, I was sad, devastated as well. I got 23rd.
Okay.
And I told myself once again, next year I'll get top 10. And I got top 10.
Okay.
And the next year, I told myself again, I'll get top 5. I got 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like in whatever journey that you're doing, be it in sports or life or business or whatever, you got to have realistic goals, you know. You can't just like, this is my first time and I'm going to get first. You can get first if you're the only competitor, but other than that, you can't. So that's how it is, how it started. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me, when you say Singapore, you got 3rd, and Sabah, you got the 7th. Sabah one sounds a bit more challenging. Why is that?
A bit more challenging because we had 8 events over 2 days.
Okay.
In Singapore, we only had like 4 in one day.
Okay.
Yeah, so once we finish the 4 and then we're done. That's it. But the thing with having so many events, 8 events in 2 days, is you can be very strong. A lot of athletes are strong. I've met them. They're nice people. They're friends. When you're done with the first day, 4 events done, you might end up with like torn calluses, torn this and that, and you feel very wrecked. It feels like, you know, you just ran a marathon or what. I don't run marathons, so I don't really know. But as an example, general example, or you just got hit by a motorbike or something, the truck is too much. So the next day you wake up, you feel like, oh my God, I'm so wrecked.
And you're going to do the same thing again.
Yeah, and you have to do more things. So it all comes down to which athletes wants it badly.
Okay.
It's all about mind game after that.
So it's beyond physical at that point,
Yeah.
day 2. Can you paint a picture to what are things that you actually do over the 2-3 days? I know a few. Log presses, atlas stones.
Yeah.
What's the one that you put on your back? It's called yoke, right? Yoke carry.
So we have usually in Sabah, I like Sabah's competition because they have a lot of varieties. We have circus dumbbell, we have log press, we have tire flip, tires that weigh around 420 kilos or 450, atlas stones from 120 to 170, I think, 180.
So you're carrying a 180 kg stone.
Yeah. And it's not as easy as deadlifting 180 kg.
For sure, because I would assume that, hey, your hands need to be conditioned or rough to a certain point to carry that stone. The stone's not going to be polished for you, right?
Yeah. And then, we have truck pull, Hercules hole.
What's a Hercules hole?
Basically, well, you have cable machines in the gym.
Yeah.
Just to visualize it easier. You know, if you grab and you do chest flies, right? That's chest flies.
Yeah.
But just imagine you're just holding side to side and there's like 200 plus 300 kilos on each side. So you have to hold it.
Okay.
Hence the hole.
This reminds me of like when
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Like trying to save that
Spider-Man. The train,
right? He wants to
I think it was the train.
from falling off.
Or maybe Samson. Have you heard of Samson? Yeah.
Arnold, yeah.
Yeah, we have plenty of events.
Okay.
That's the fun of it.
Is there a lot of variety to it? Because I would assume that if it was a surprise for you cannot prepare for it, right?
That's the thing. Some competitions they'll tell you, maybe 2 months prior to that, okay, we'll have this event, that event, but it is subjected to changes. I mean, up to the organizers. That's fine. But some events they don't really tell you. So it's like a welcome and surprise, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
I prefer that actually.
Serious?
I prefer that because, well, you can always guess. Because I've competed so many times and, you know, I've met the same organizers here and there. So I know what they're going to put in.
Okay.
If these organizers holding an event or a competition, I can roughly guess what he's going to put inside there. Because equipments are expensive. So if you want to buy new equipments, it doesn't make sense because, you know, I want to make profit as an organizer. So you can actually just guess.
Okay.
It's not that hard. Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite exercise though? Or favorite movement in any of those competitions?
Any of the strongman competition. One movement that I've never lost, which is my favorite, all-time favorite. Anything that involves pressing things overhead. Single arm, double arm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never.
So log press would be one of them.
Yeah. I think my record in Singapore is still standing. No one's touching it.
Or was it?
Yeah, they can't break it, so it's still mine.
What weight was it? If you
I think it was
can?
155 or 150. I can't remember.
So
it was a strict press.
You bring a log. I suppose you got to bring a log from the bottom towards your collarbone and press it all the way up. Can you jerk it up? Can you use your legs to jump it up?
You can use whatever you can. Okay. Split jerk, push jerk, not that jerk. But yeah, you can do anything as long as you get it above your head. Your feet are aligned, elbows are locked. It's good.
You have to hold it for a certain duration as well.
But I've had bad shoulders since rugby, so I can't really jerk. The stability is very bad, so I do a lot of strict presses. Yeah, so most of the shoulder presses are done without any leg movements.
Even without jerking the weight up, you strictly pressing it up.
Yeah, my best was 160.
You're still holding the record amongst guys who need to kind of jerk and press it up.
Yeah,
I'm proud to be a Malaysian, bro. Thanks for sharing that.
My pleasure.
How's exercise? I keep using exercise, man. I know it's somewhat offensive to use the word exercise.
No, it's fine.
Training for you these days?
How's my training these days? Well, I'm not gonna lie. Things are hard, and I have to spice things up. I had to. I've been doing a lot of running as well. Once every 2 to 3 days, I do a lot of sprintings because I felt like, I'm getting I'm not getting any younger. I'm not going to say I'm old. I'm not getting any younger. And I feel like I need to mobilize myself and move more. I miss my rugby days. I still have my rugby boots. Put them on, sprints.
Okay.
And then I do a lot of bodyweight stuff. Stability, not so much of heavy lifting because there's no access to it. And I've been thinking of taking a break from powerlifting and strongman as well, just for maybe a year or two. There's no competitions and I don't see any competitions coming up.
Okay.
So what's the point of putting a lot of stress on your body?
Okay.
Yeah, so just chill for a while.
What do you think that would mean for general strength though? Because my assumption would be that to maintain at a certain strength level, or at least to maintain somewhat competition ready, you would need to have some form of conditioning. Still need to lift some decently enough intensity and whatnot, right? How are you planning to kind of maintain that though? If powerlifting is not an option?
It's pretty easy actually. Well, I've been in the sports for a long time, obviously. So I know things and I have my ways. Well, muscle memory is a thing, thankfully, thank God. So if they call for a competition or whatever, it just takes me about 2-3 weeks to bounce back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not really about losing your strength. Well, you will lose your strength, but the hardest part of recovering those strength back is to get the movements right again.
Okay, technique.
Yeah, technique. Because your body feels like, it feels very odd, if you've left it for a long time and then your body just doesn't get used to the movement. So it's better to just focus on the movement first and the strength will come back later.
Okay, got it. So why do you think competitions and all that won't happen so soon though? Closed door competitions, I assume smaller crowds. What do you think?
Well, smaller crowds won't benefit the organizers.
Okay.
If event people, this and that. Well, the more crowds they have, the better the profit, I guess. So if they don't have that, it's not going to happen. And also, most of these events rely on sponsorships, and I'm pretty sure those sponsors are not doing super well as well.
Okay,
that they want to just I give out some money for you to hold events now.
Okay, so it's not it has to make sense financially as well to actually hold a competition.
It has to be a win-win situation.
Okay.
Yeah, for the sponsors, for the organizers, and for the athletes.
All right.
Yeah, if one is missing, I think it's not a wise idea to run one.
Which begs the question, I suppose that's why a lot of people are arguing, why is the Olympics even being held at this point, right? Yeah, but I suppose the show has to kind of go on.
I mean, you have to understand. I mean, a lot of people, well, some agree to the, allowing the Olympics to happen, but you have to understand Japan invested so much. I forgot the amount, but how many billions just for this Olympic.
Yeah.
And even now when they're doing it, they're not making any money though, because there's no spectators or whatever this and that. It's so sad for them. I feel sad for them. Imagine if Malaysia did invest that amount of money to do Olympics or SEA Games or whatnot, and suddenly, boom, pandemic, and it's postponed is fine, but cancel.
Yeah.
Because, when they have crowds, when they have tourists come and watch and support the Olympics,
Stimulates
that's
the
when
economy.
they earn money,
Yeah.
to recover back whatever they invested. But now it's so sad for them. Yeah.
I actually wonder if they would still kind of allow the 2024 Olympics to be held there, though, in a way. I feel like that would make sense financially. Otherwise, the country is going to be wrecked.
Unless if the economy bounce back, then it's fine.
Yeah, everyone's banking on that to happen. Okay. Thanks for sharing your history in
worries.
the strongman world. Okay, so you're known as Zarol the Strongman, and I think that is something that most people know you as. But I also see that you have a lot of talents outside of powerlifting, I gotta say. You draw, you sing, and you cook. I think I saw a video of you singing is it an Instagram story or one of your posts?
Yeah, I sing Chinese songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where does this come from? Where does this passion for?
Where does it come from? I think because I have a lot of Chinese friends, and I felt like I want to learn Chinese. And my friend told me maybe you can just start watching dramas. I mean, that's usually the start of it. So I didn't really watch the dramas, but I started listening to Chinese songs.
Okay.
And I kind of liked it. And my friends told me that if you start singing, you can actually get the idea of the pronunciations, the tones or whatever. So I started singing it and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I love a lot of songs and yeah.
How's your Mandarin? 你可以讲华语。
No. What's this line? 我不知道华语. Is that correct? Because I don't know why, because I look so Malay, but there's a few times when I was outside and then there's like this uncle auntie like, I'm sorry, no offense. And then I'm like, 我不知道华语. And then she's like, oh, you Malay? Yeah, auntie, sorry. I can't speak Chinese.
You get mistaken for being a Chinese?
Yeah, I don't know Chinese at all.
I think certain angles you would actually resemble a Chinese, to be
Really,
honest.
man?
Yeah.
I get a lot of, are you Sabahan?
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But a more exotic
Especially when
look.
I have piercings on. And then they'll ask me that. Yeah.
Okay, wait. The reason why I asked those is because I want to know where does this artistic sense come from, though. I mean, stereotype. This is a bad stereotype from me. I'm an asshole for saying this.
It's all right.
But usually one doesn't relate or equates being a strong man, being a powerlifter, with having the opposite spectrum of being so sensitive, being someone who can sing and can cook and draw.
It's just about balance.
Okay.
Like I have my rough side, I have my extreme side, I have a side where I just want to, do things aggressively, and there are parts where when I'm down, when I'm having a tough time, I actually can only draw and paint when I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah, there was this one point when I had some, problems. I was in front of my canvas, my easel, for 12 hours, and I didn't realize that. I was just painting and painting and painting. It was 12 hours. Yeah, all I had with me was just a big glass of drinks and then just like paint and drink, painting. That's it.
Okay.
It's part of expressing myself in a way, because I don't have much friends, so I don't really like, hey Brad, I'm down, isn't that? And sometimes I don't feel like telling people, so I express it. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that powerlifting or strongman is also your way of expression?
Not quite. It's more of like me trying to climb and make it up there. You get what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you have your platform. You used to be a model, those kind of things, this and that. And different people have different platforms. I can't be a model unless if they have plus size. Obviously, I'm going to make it anyway. Yeah. There's no platform for me, and this is the only thing that I have. Powerlifting and strongman. So people say like, Zah, why are you willing to go through pain and this and that, whatnot, for this sport? And I'm like, if you understand me, if you have one platform and that's the only one you can excel in, you would do the same thing as I do.
Okay.
Yeah, unless if like maybe five years down the road, I have a business or whatever, then I'm probably going to focus on that. But for now, whatever I have, I'm just going to do it. That's why I always tell my friends, like, some of them, like, feel sad because they don't have any platforms. And they always say, oh, I'm only like studying at home, reading this and that. You gotta like, what do you call this? Improvise that or make it better. if that's the only platform that you have, which is studying, just be the best student, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, if you feel like you like reading, maybe you can write your own book or start something small, this and that, blogs or something. Yeah.
But do you think everyone should indulge in that competitive drive though?
I do believe not everyone is competitive. Some people are, I won't say complacent. That's kind of offensive in a way, but they just like the way they are right now. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that because like it may have started very early for me, but the spark might start later for some of them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, KFC, Colonel Sanders, he got the idea very late. He was like, what, 60, 70 plus? And there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you start early, this is an advice from me. Just because you start early doesn't mean you're going to be better than everyone else. Yeah.
Why do you say that? You started way earlier than most people.
I started way earlier, but the learning curve was so slow at start because I didn't understand anything. To the point where I started, you know, getting, I got injured and this and that, trying to get better. And it kind of like made me think, what is the wrong? Because I kept thinking of the rights that I've been doing.
Okay.
But what made me hurt? What caused the injury? And then at that point, I started to understand. I rested and I got so much stronger, faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I bring that up is because it's something I do want to cover with you as well, because you are obviously a world-class athlete.
Oh no.
Dude, for sure, bro.
No.
Dude, you are okay, would you say you're top 300 strongest person in the world?
Last check was 80 plus.
Bro, how is that not like world class? Like, come on. Your modesty, bring it out of the room. The reason why I ask that is because I have been personally struggling with the idea of focusing on the process versus focusing on the outcome. The example I would give is, of course, when someone first started lifting, for me, for example, was to look good, build your body, get attention. And that is a good motivator in a way. I would say that is important as a motivator to begin with. But if that continues being my drive at 25, at 30, at 35, right? Isn't that dangerous?
Is it still is?
To a certain point, I think it's lesser. But I think that...
Yeah, your hair is very messy, so I can tell it's lesser.
Yeah. So I didn't even bother. My girlfriend is complaining about it. Yeah, so I should comb it.
It can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Or it can be very... what do you call this? As a motivation. What do you call it? A fire within.
Okay.
A drive for you. One is... well, let's be honest. Some of us out there, including me, we are not born super good looking. Okay? This gonna hurt everyone. I know everyone is beautiful. I'm not saying that this and that, but let's be honest. There's a reason why celebrities are celebrities, because they have the values.
Okay.
Models are models because they have the values. Like athletes, because they have the athletic values. So not everyone is catered for that. And what I'm trying to say is, because you say like you want to look good, you want attention, this and that. At the end of the day, because I used to have this feeling as well, at the end of the day, you have to tell yourself, yes, you can get attention, but not as much as these people do. So you have to calm yourself down before you kill yourself. You get what I mean? No offense, but it screws the mind, you know, when you like, I want this, I want to look good, my skin is bad, this and that, this and that. You can take care as much as you want, but if it's not meant to be for you, it's not meant to be for you. Like,
okay.
Let's say if we're talking about like Brad and me as an example in a parallel world, he's definitely better looking than me. Only like a group of people would find a bigger man like me attractive, and he's not. But the majority would say he's better looking than I do, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is the fact, and the society is just like that. So one way or another, try not to get consumed by these ideas of I need to look super good, I need to this and that. Of course, you have to like groom yourself, but not to the point where you get so stressed and affected by it. Yeah.
Understand. But with lifting, for example, right, I realize these days my fuel, the reason I lift, is a little bit more because I enjoy it. And I will assume 100%, being a world-class athlete, you have to kind of enjoy what you do. Squat, deadlift, bench press.
Stop using world-class athlete.
Bro, you can try to lift me up and say I'm good looking. I can use the word world-class on you.
All right. The question was
like
fuel.
Yeah, fuel. Process, right? It's equally important that I enjoy what I do. I really, the only exercise I'm doing now is basically push-ups, incline push-ups, chin-ups at the park, various different grips, and that's it. And even though it's not a complete gym setting, I thoroughly enjoy it. And I really don't give a damn about ultimately whether or not my lats grow, my pecs get bigger or not. And I think I've reached a certain point where I'm a bit more zen about it.
It comes with the age, actually.
I suppose.
That's why I said like, if you start super young or you start middle age or whatever, it's all different. It's all different. Goals are different as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you pressured now though? Do you have any pressure to want to maintain at this state of yours, this world-class state of yours? World class.
Not shut up. Well, I think prior to this recording, I actually told him that I want to take a break, like about a year or 2 years or whatnot. Just want to focus on, trying to lean down a bit, try to be healthier. Because I've never been below 100 kilos in my life. Never been. Because when I was 12, I was like 78 kilos. And then after that, when I hit puberty at 13, I was 108. So I've never been below that since 12 years ago. So I'm very excited. I'm very keen to see, or, I'm very curious on how I look like if I'm much leaner or much lighter. And plus the fact that I've been training for so long, so I have a lot of muscle base. So I want to see how I look like. And yeah, coming back to what you mentioned just now, you enjoy more doing, bodyweight stuff now, this and that, because we've been so stuck in the gym for many, many years that simple new things, not really new, but simple things actually makes us feel better. Like when I did push-ups, right, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And also because the situation right now, because we really can't do anything about it, and we tend to appreciate the least or the smallest things. Yeah.
That's I suppose it comes with age. Yep. And I think that you might experience it 4 years down the road, since you're 4 years younger than me. So who knows? Maybe we'll have a very different conversation or very different outlook on things when you reach my old man age, bro. You mentioned the word healthy.
Yes, correct.
And you say you want to be healthier. You're a world-class athlete. Why do you not relate healthy to what you're doing?
Well, first thing first, being my weight is not healthy at all. Being overweight.
You're 110, is it? 115?
115. But in my competition state, I'll be around 130, 140 sometimes. So that's not healthy. And that's why if you see even like top athletes out there, they're only at this size, or let's say competition size during competitions. Like outside of competitions, they don't stay that big because a lot of risks, this and that and whatnot.
So off season they're lighter, you would say?
Much lighter. And yeah, since I don't have anything to do right now, I don't need to use my strength so much, isn't it? I might as well just try to lose and get better. As a whole.
What would that do to your strength though? The reason I ask is because I would assume that lower body fat or lighter weight or being healthier would mean somewhat better endurance or improved endurance in a way. Would you say so?
Yeah, yes, correct.
And would that have any carryover to competition when you want to go back though?
There's always pros and cons. When you lose and you gain something. There's a lot of powerlifters and strongmen out there that are lean and strong. So when people say you need to be super chunky and big to be strong, it's actually, that's not right anymore. That's not right. We don't live in those ages anymore. You can be both big and strong. It's kind of fun because, it's nice being big, but for some people, they just want to stay lean and strong, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there are people out there who are world class and much, much, way, way stronger than me. I look up to them and they are lean and strong. So that's something that I want to try and achieve.
So below 100 would be your short-term, mid-term goal?
Yeah, for now 100. Yeah.
Would you get your weight back up though once you go back to a competition on season?
Probably gonna go to 110 or 15. Still within that control area. I don't want to shoot too much.
So I do want to segue to asking you, right, about health. What advice would you give though for a general Malaysian to be healthy? Because most people watching this, I assume, are not entrenched so much into the fitness world like you and I. What advice would you give the general Malaysian on being healthy?
Advice. I can't bring anything right now.
Okay, so what kind of people seek your coaching service? I'm just curious.
What kind of people? Well, mostly lifters. I would say 80 to 90% lifters. They've done some sort of lifting in their life or whatever. But I have athletes outside lifting as well. I have athletes doing other sports as well. And I have people who just want to lose weight or gain weight and those kind of things. And it's pretty easy actually. Yeah.
What would you say to someone who says, and this is something that some of my friends in the industry as well have always said, that being a strongman or being an extreme powerlifter is not healthy. What do you say to that?
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everyone has their own opinion. And I would say myself, it's not healthy to do, putting a lot of pressure on your body, like powerlifting. You put a lot of pressure on your body, but not knowing that you're actually pressuring your heart as well, your organs, this and that. Okay. It strengthens them, but at the same time, it puts a lot of stress. It's good that it strengthens them if you get enough rest. But if you don't get enough rest, that's why you have the tendency of, get hurt, from within. Yeah. I mean, there's very rare cases, but it happens. It does happen.
For example, like I have a chiro friend who I've told that, hey, I have this guy who I showed the video of you deadlifting 300 for 6 reps on YouTube. And he says, oh my God, what kind of damage is that going to do to his spine? Yeah. Like those are the common comments that people give to the sport.
That's okay. Not saying that your friends are not good or whatever, because I have my physicians and he's a specialist and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he does powerlifting, he does bodybuilding, used to do. From my point of view, right, it is damaging for people who don't lift.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Because my body has gone through sessions and sessions and sessions and sessions that it adapts to this. But for someone, let's say, who's never been to the gym, and I ask, like, can you just pull that one? The weights won't even leave the floor, but the spine will leave your body. Why? Because you're not built for that. There's a reason why you have to, train for it years and years to be good at it.
So you want your muscles and your skeletal system to kind of grow strong together.
Yeah, correct.
I think people always use this one outlier example, and I'm going to use it because it's a legend, right? Ronnie Coleman. He's gone through, he won 8 Mr. Olympias, and you see videos of him in his prime squatting damn heavy. I think there was an 800 pounds for multiple reps. Yeah. And right now he's on a wheelchair. And the argument would be, of course, lifting, easy to kind of misconstrue to that conclusion that lifting heavy is bad for the body. But ultimately, as you said, right, you got to kind of work up to it. And maybe at that point, Ronnie Coleman's muscle, which we can argue is unnatural, is carrying a lot of the load, which the spine and the back and the joints are not able to kind of handle in the long run.
That's correct. I mean, when you start using these unnatural things,
unnatural,
enhancers or whatever. I'm gonna be blunt about it. The rate of your muscles getting stronger and bigger is way faster than how your tendons and ligaments can adapt to it. So that's what happened. And another thing that I want to say, right, because a lot of people say when you do sports, when you get old, your knees will hurt, your joints will hurt, your back, this and that. Let's just be honest. No offense to anyone up there, but let's just look at our aunties, our uncles, our grandparents. And do they do sports back then? But they are in pain also, right?
Good point.
Yep. That's what I always tell, because it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, it's just up to you. Because at the end of the day, everyone will go. And before you go, you will go through pain.
Okay.
Yeah, my late granny didn't do any sports, but she had knee pain, this pain, and that pain. But no one ever say, hey, you didn't do sports, but you got pain also. Correct or not? But when we do something, when we did sports, when we were younger and then we get older, that's why I tell you. You hurt your knees because you do sports last time.
I see.
So it's always the same thing. Like, let's say as an example, right? This is a bit sensitive. We're talking about PEDs, performance enhancers drugs or whatever, Ronnie Coleman, this and that. In a year, if I remember correctly, I think 2-3 years ago, I was just reading an article. Like maybe roughly less than 10 people in this world die from steroids or related. Okay? Related. It's not really 100% because of steroids, but related. Okay. And most of them are heart attack. Okay. And everyone argue about it. they hate on that, this and that. Steroids are bad, this and that. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not advocating steroids, okay? But how many people in this world yearly die from heart attack without steroids?
Okay, got it.
Hundreds and thousands of people, but no one bats an eye. But when a person uses something else outside of the box or outside of the norm and suddenly die from it, everyone's like, start to attack that. You notice or not?
Yeah. The rich piano issue, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's the guy? Ziz.
Yeah,
as well.
this and that.
It's hard to say exactly that, hey, steroids is the reason why one gets heart attack.
That's why they always say related. They don't say
got it.
because of that.
Got it. Okay, thank you for going there. I think that's a very interesting aspect that most people don't know about. Okay, I'm going to jump into another topic that is a little bit different from what we've been talking about so far. And okay, I've been thinking about the reason why this podcast exists, right? Mentors Among Us. And it's still something I'm trying to figure out. I'm really not sure where the direction of this is supposed to be. And I'm okay with that. But I feel like the reason why I'm kind of compelled to do this because I'm kind of seeking advice, seeking opinions. I'm keen to have conversations with people who are willing to go a bit deeper.
And share things.
And share
experience.
Things. And you've been very candid and open about your childhood without your parents. So your parents passed on when you were about 2 or 3 years old, right?
2 years old.
So, and I think you mentioned this earlier, but I'm curious to know, who do you look up to though? At that age formative ages when you need someone to look up to?
Well, it has always been my late granny. She was my mom and my dad. I mean, my aunt takes care of me as well now. But it has always been my granny. Like, even though she was always busy, because I mean, at that age or whatever, you shouldn't have, like, when my parents passed away, I think my granny was like coming towards 50 years old. And at that point of time, someone that age would think of, I'm thinking of my retirement, those kind of things, but not for her. Because she had to take care of us. If there's no income, there's no way she can raise us. You get what I mean? Yeah. So she wakes up at 4 to 5 a.m. I remember when I was like, you know, in primary school. I remember, you know, like I can hear rustling in the morning because she's like, you know, looking for clothes, this and that, because she needs to go to work, this and that. Yeah.
What was she working as?
Well, my whole family, we cook.
Okay.
We cook, yeah. She runs canteens. I mean, my auntie runs it now, canteens and cafeterias. So my life have been revolved around
food.
Foods. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's how I get big, I guess. But yeah, I mean, she have always been my idol. Someone I look up to, someone I hold on to very closely. And even up till now, when she's no longer around, I just feel, you know, at times when I'm facing something, a hard patch in my life or whatever, whenever I think of her, it does make things lighter. It does make things a bit better. I mean, it gets very emotional, but it gets me through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you dealing with it though? How have you been dealing with it? Because I recall that it happened also very early in the pandemic stage, right?
When she passed?
Yeah.
November 15, 2019. It was before.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because lockdown started on 18th of March 2020 because I got stuck in Penang.
Oh, okay.
Because I went to Penang on the 17th of March 2020. The next day was a lockdown for the whole country, so I couldn't go back. I was there for like two months or 3
Paradise,
months.
bro.
Not really, because I didn't have anything to do, and I was very, very what do you call this? Very, very paise because I stayed at my friend's place for 2 or 3 months. I mean, I did pay for groceries and that, but it's just not nice, you know. And yeah, thank you, BK, for letting me stay at your place. Yeah, coming back to my granny, it's been almost 2 years. It was tough for me because if I were to share it with you guys, this was the whole story that happened. What do you call this? On Monday, she passed away on Friday. So I went on Monday. We went to the hospital on Monday. And the doctor actually told her that, you know, her kidneys are not doing well and there's like, 15% or 20% functions left. Yeah. And maybe in no time she'll need to get dialysis done.
Yeah.
And At that point of time, I could tell that she's very tired. She's not her anymore. She's like, when we were eating, she was sleeping, this and that. And then move on. Every day she felt tired, this and that. And then on Friday, I had a physiotherapy appointment in the morning. So I went there in the morning, and then I called her. Once I was done with the therapy, I called her. Do you want to eat anything? And she said she don't want to eat anything. And I bought her some food. I bought her some tofu and stuff like that. And I went home. And I was like, she was sitting by the bedside. Okay, keep in mind this was like around 12 or 1 p.m. like that in the afternoon. And then I told her, eat this. And she didn't want to eat it. And I was like, I took a pinch, I fed her. And she still refused, but then she took my bite. And the most heartbreaking part was that was her last meal, because an hour later she passed away without us realizing. It was just me, my 2 cousins at home. One was 5 years old and the other was like 12, and then my mate. So they didn't know what to do. And I was in the Red Crescent before. I was the president of Red Crescent in my school before. So I know how to deal with these things and whatnot. And actually in her lifetime, she choked about 3 to 4 times in life, like passed out, kind of choking, because she didn't have much teeth and chewing was hard, this and that. And I did the Heimlich thing, and then she survived. But that day, that afternoon, my mate called me, and I was like, I checked her, touch her everywhere, this and that, and I grabbed her wrist, and I immediately get some sugar and everything because she's diabetic. So I suspected that she passed because of hypo, right? So I tried to save. But then I resuscitated her for about 40 minutes. I mean, I learned the basics. In 15 or 20 minutes, if the person is still not recovered, that's it. Or even if he or she recovers, there's a lot of complications, like because blood starts to clot and those kind of things. So it was just me, trying to do things. Yeah, because I told my mate to call my auntie, this and that, just inform everyone. Yeah, and my auntie was in Penang at that point. She was driving back home, and then my other uncle was working because he does logistic, so he was driving from Johor. So there wasn't a lot of people like adults, because I had to handle it, resuscitate it for 40 minutes. That was tough. That was something that I will never forget. And out of all my family members, I get to experience it. And when my late grandfather passed away as well, I was there by the bedside. Yeah, he had cancer when I was 12. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, part of it is very painful, but if you look at it the other way around, it can somehow, give you an idea of what life really is, It can drive you or just break you so badly. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
No worries.
Sorry to kind of
it's okay.
that out of you.
It's okay.
But one thing that spurred me to want to ask this next question would be, how would you go about handling grief? And the reason why I asked that, to paint a picture, right, is I'm dealing with a dad who has cancer as well.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I think it's stage 3. I think the survival rate for 5 years or 2 years.
How old is he?
58, 57. So I think that we were given a 2% survival, 5% survival for the next 5 years. I mean, every time I talk about this, there's going to be some tremble coming from my voice.
Understand.
As much as I'm trying to hide it, that it doesn't affect me, it does. And I know that not a lot of advice or not any advice can help me prepare for it, but I'm just curious how you would deal with, how you recommend someone deal with grief or death.
How I handled it. Well, my close friends witnessed it. I was in a bad position for God knows how long. I started pushing everyone away from me. That's just how my body defends itself. So I just push everyone away. Just keep like 1-2 friends close. But still, I don't really talk to people. The best way to do it what to me, honestly, how I deal with it is whatever feeling that I'm feeling right now. Let's say if I feel happy, I'll go 100%. No, I'll go 1,000% happy. If I feel very sad right now, I'll go 1,000% sad. You know, I don't hold it in. I don't hold it in. I do believe, like, you know, whatever emotions that you're feeling right now, you have to feel it, like super feel it.
So don't repress it, lah.
Yeah, don't try to be strong. Don't try to be. Let's see, if you're a fun person, don't try to be a dull person. If you're a dull person, don't try to be a fun person. You go, I mean, yeah. If you want to smile, if you force yourself not to smile, it feels very odd. It feels like cramping, you know. So it feels more painful. Yeah, and to me, I like to let things out. If I like someone, I'll tell them. If I feel sad, I'll just cry. If I this and that, I'll just do it. Because at the end of the day, right, the faster you can get rid of these emotions, the faster other emotions can come back. You get what I mean? It's like a cycle. Sadness comes in, it goes out, and then happiness comes in. Nothing stays. The thing about sadness, happiness, feeling boredom or whatever, they don't stay. 1 second you are happy, the other second you're sad. And next thing you know, you're happy again, and suddenly you're bored. And suddenly you feel this and then you feel that. It changes. So nothing stays. But I don't know, it's just you have to accept, you know, whatever that's gonna leave you.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to say, but I've experienced the loss of my parents when I was 2 years old, my grandfather when I was 12, my granny when I was 24. Yeah. It's something that I'll never forget. And I wish, honestly, right, with all this sadness and emotions, I would rather die young than carrying it. Like, can you just imagine? I'm 60 years old. Let's say one day I'm 60 and I'm sitting by my chair and I'm thinking, like, this is when my granny passed away. This is when my... It's so painful, right? To think about it. It's very painful. Like, when I sit down, let's say if I'm 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, just sit down like, oh, I remember my granny used to be like this. She used to cook this for me. It's so painful. It's so painful to think about it. It's very sweet to reminisce these things. Yeah. But the fact that she's not there.
Wouldn't you have built up, I suppose, hopefully by then, right, other pillars in your life which can kind of, I wouldn't say fill that void, but also act as other support pillars for you?
It's just, you know, when you say these things, right, it's the same thing as, you know, like, let's say when you break up. Oh, you'll find someone better. No, you'll never find someone better. No, I'm serious. I don't like that phrase.
You find someone different.
Yes, because everyone is unique and everyone have different ways of pouring their love, different ways of showing things, different ways of being mad at you, this and that. So there's no better, there's no lesser. Everyone is just different. It's just a piece of puzzle that fits. If it doesn't fit you, it'll never fit you. So the same as, let's say, if I have someone one day, it'll never recover my granny. The memory of my granny is still there.
Got it.
Yeah, that's someone, I'll make memory with him or her. But with my granny, with my family members, or with whoever that I used to be close with that have left before me, it will never change. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thanks for that.
No worries.
Thanks for that sharing. I think that's very responsible, because when I hear you say that you should experience sadness, happiness, boredom, whatever it is fully, right? It goes against what people would, let's say if I'm sad, for example, someone would come and say, oh, it's okay, bro, it's okay, it's fine, things will be okay, things will be okay. You don't want to hear that when you're in the pits of despair. Right?
Exactly. No one wants to hear it.
Shit's not going to be okay.
This is all dramas and cliches shit. I don't like to hear that. I mean, like, whenever I'm sad, right, my best friend Aras, okay? I usually, if I feel very shy, if I don't feel like talking, I'll just text him. I'm like, can I have a hug? Yeah, because I'm sad. Or maybe if he's in front of me, I just like open up. And he's like, oh, he knows I'm sad. And when we hug, he's like, what's wrong? So you need these kind of people, you know. You don't need to explain yourself, and then you know. Because sometimes we don't want to hear words, you know. We just want an embrace, you know, to be embraced, to be held, to feel that, you know, we are someone and there's someone for us as well. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily like a wife or couples or whatever, but just someone to be there for you. And we don't need... man up, bro, this and that. Oh, you don't want to hear those things, you know. Oh, come on.
I think that's very important coming from you, you know.
Yeah.
I said this, right? I think I mentioned in the email or the text I sent you. I think you're a very good representative for the sport, not because you're world class, which you obviously are. I'm going to count the number of times I use the word world class in this podcast, but because you are world class, again, +1. But you also embody the fact that, hey, you are in touch with your emotions. You are brave enough to admit them. You're brave enough to know that no matter how heavy you lift, you cannot bypass those emotions. Sure. I think that's much healthier for someone to handle emotionally and mentally. So I just want to applaud you for what you've just shared. I think that's important. If not for anyone, for me to hear. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Like even for me, like let's see if I have a competitions or whatever, and I tell myself if I win this, I'll reward myself. It doesn't have to be like the greatest, the most expensive, the biggest prizes or whatever. I will go to like sushi place or whatever, this and that, and I'll spend like 200 worth of money, and there's a lot of sushi, you know. And I always go to the cheap places, and I get like trays of sushi just to reward myself.
Okay,
it's those kind of things. Or if I feel like, oh, maybe I should go out and drink, I just go drink. Whatever that crosses your mind, right? Sometimes you just have to do it. You don't have to like, should I? That's why when he texted me, right, I was like, I have nothing to do. So there's no harm on me joining him for a podcast. I've done it before. Yeah.
Was there a lot of resistance to coming here?
Not quite. It's just that I had some things to do prior to that. And after that, I was like, who am I lying? I don't have anything to do during MCO.
Okay. I very much appreciate you being here, and I'm pretty sure people watching this or listening to this are as well. I want to go into you mentioned this in one of your podcasts, right? I like the fact that you mentioned that you're a coach to a lot of your coachees, your athletes, and you're not just a coach that tells them, hey bro, this is this week, this block is 3 sets or 50 or whatever it is. You mentioned that you also embrace the role of being a shoulder to lean on for them.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I want you to talk a little bit about that, because I think that's something that most people don't see in a coach, you know?
I mean, when I was in rugby, I used to have, a few coaches as well. And I don't see them as coaches alone.
Drill sergeants.
They're like friends.
Okay.
You know? If you feel, it's just like, you know, like, how do I say this? Let's say, if something very basic, if you make a friend out of a teacher, you don't feel so shy to ask, excuse me, miss, what is this? Excuse me, ma'am, what is this? But if you feel like she is a teacher, just that, in that position, you'll feel like very hesitant to ask questions, this and that. So you get what I mean? Like, I always tell my clients, right, drop the formalities. I am your coach, and also I'm a friend. I want you to feel comfortable when we discuss things, this and that, because, like, you know, if we're just basically like coaches and clients, sometimes when I advise, and it might sound very harsh or whatever, and they might not take it well. But if we are friends, let me be frank, and they get it. You get what I mean? Yeah. If it's just like super professional, they might get offended. But if you know that, okay, look, he is a coach and he is also a friend, and a friend that wants you to get stronger as well, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I do have clients who have gone through hard times or whatever, and they will talk to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not paid to listen to those things, but this is just my nature. I love talking to people. I mean, I do Q&A almost every day. I love talking to people. What do you mean? Yeah, it's this kind of thing. It's just part of me. I mean, yeah, a big portion of me is just enjoy doing those things.
I also, one thing that I texted you, one thing that I texted you about, and is something that I really admire. I told you that it kind of brought some tears to my eyes when I heard you share that in, I think it's Zilfit's podcast, what you were doing and what you're contributing to a bunch of senior citizens.
Yeah.
Can you share with me what you were doing with that organization though?
It was a quick thing. It was like over the weekend kind of thing. But most of the time was like, you know, because I at that point, my granny was still around. Okay. She was still around, and I always think to myself, right, she has me. Well, at that point of time, of course, when she was around, she had my auntie, my brother, family. But these kind of people, they don't. So why can't I just be there for this moment before I go back home and just forget everything? You get what I mean? I might forget that moment, but for them, if they're still around, maybe they might still remember me.
Is this an old folks home or
Whatever it is, whatever. Like, because my late granny's sister as well used to stay in old folks home.
yeah?
I mean, this was not an event or whatever for this one, okay? But when we go visit her, it was just like me and my uncle, my auntie. It's just like two of us, send foods or whatever, and then I'll talk to her, and then you can tell, all these old people, doesn't matter the race, like, but they're old, and they just want someone to talk to. Because when they see me, like when I come, or any visitors that come, they just look at them. Like, you can tell, like, hey, they want to talk. I mean, they're human as well. They're old, but they want to talk. I mean, doesn't matter if they have complications or whatever. We all need to talk.
So they're eager for connection.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're feeling.
Like, I always imagine myself, like, what if I'm 60 years old, I don't have anyone, and I just see someone, I just want to talk to them.
That's a recurring fear that you've been sharing about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why, like, to me, I don't want to live for so long. Okay. I just want to live until it's enough. Okay. That's what I feel. And yeah, it gets me emotional when I see like old people and whatnot, this and that. And in my neighborhood, there was this uncle. I mean, he's still around, I think. He was in a wheelchair. I was like, 14, 15 years old. I'm not bragging, okay? But this is what I did. Almost all the time. I was on the way for my rugby training or whatnot. And then I was passing by the Giant supermarket nearby my house. And I saw him. And there's actually a slope. It's not super sharp, but can you just imagine an old Indian uncle on a wheelchair trying to, thrive himself up? And I notice a lot of people just watch. I don't know. The thing about Malaysians well, we have good people. We have nice people as well. I love Malaysians, of course. But some of them really just like to watch. They just like to watch. So I felt like, because I was a kid, I was like 14 years old, 15 years old, I was like, should I do it? Because I felt paise, ma. Right, I felt very paise. I don't get it why people feel this way. I feel this way as well. When we want to do something, we feel very shy. We feel like this and that. Nah, I did it. And I pushed him from the supermarket all the way up to his house. It took me about 10, 15 minutes. He cried. Okay, he said like, like there's people that has helped him, but also he doesn't want people to help him because he felt like, he's a burden, this and that, those kind of things. It's sad. I mean, it touched my heart and makes me feel just like, we take things for granted sometimes, Yeah.
There's this side of you that I feel has been surfacing as we talk, right? I think you're a man of service.
Yeah, I mean, like, to me, right, once you've lost so many people in your life, right, you kind of, you tend to have the feelings that I have right now with me. Man of service or whatever people call it. That's why, for those, I mean, I know of some friends who have never experienced any losses and they won't understand. Yeah. But once you have experienced great losses in your life, especially your loved ones, then you'll understand. Right.
Do you see, I suppose this is a very broad future question, right? And I would wish for you to do strongman till you're 50, 40, 50. And I think you mentioned somewhere that the prime of strongman can easily be up to like 40s even.
40s.
Yeah. But what would you say is another path that you want to explore?
I mean, I want to start my own business. I mean, I don't have any ideas yet. And also it's not a wise idea to start a business now because of the pandemic. But I do want to, try out running my own business and this and that. And then, yeah, I have my goals, but I don't really like to share goals.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, I don't like, because it's like, I don't know. To me, if I share the goals with too many people, it loses its value. And you slow down, or maybe you stop working towards it. That's what I feel.
Okay, that's a good point. I think when you do share a goal and make it public, it feels like you're halfway there in a way, right? Like, yeah. Okay.
And also you're making a statement that, well, you didn't say it's a goal. A goal is a goal. A dream is a dream, right? But still, people will think, hey, I thought you said a few years ago you wanted to do this and that, but then you never do. It's kind of annoying, when people say this. Let people do whatever they want to do in their life is.
Got it. Okay, dude, I've taken up so much of your time.
No worries.
I'm going to try to wrap up with some rapid fire questions. If you can have a billboard placed in the busiest street in KL by Mr. Zarol Baby Ox Alfiyan, what would it say?
What would I say? What would I write it? Is it? If I were to choose, right, I like this simple line. It says, "Be great."
Okay.
It's actually by Brian Shaw, 4 times world's strongest man. I like that line. It's so simple, but then it's packed with a lot of messages. You see, and one of his favorite lines also like, "Adversity forces growth." But obviously, if I have a billboard, I'm not gonna put like quote or whatever. I'm probably gonna put my name for coaching. Look out for me or something like that. Yeah, this kind of things. But if I have a billboard, I put something. I'll put images. I won't put quotes or whatever.
Okay.
I'll put images that would intrigue someone's happiness, trigger the happiness of someone, and just make their days better. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we don't like, sometimes we see words we don't read. Hello. But we see image, we capture it immediately. Yeah.
I see that. I see a marketing side of you popping up.
I study finance. Hello, of course, marketing as well.
Okay. How has your outlook in life changed though from this almost 2 years of freaking goddamn lockdown?
My outlook.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I felt like killing myself actually. There's a few times where I felt like, like this is hell. This is too much. Because I've always been someone, well, I'm pretty sure you can relate as well because we have our clients, be it online or in person, we get to teach them hands-on, firsthand. And we like to talk. We like to share our knowledge or whatever experience our days, and we have to ask them like, how's your day, this and that. And when you don't have these things, right, I felt like I'm an animal inside the zoo. Captivity. There's nothing. And it kills me because I'm pretty sure everyone can tell that I'm rather extrovert. Right. Extroverted. So when I don't have human contact or whatever this and that, I lost my purpose. And I did my research as well on how it felt to lose your purpose, this and that. And they did write it down somewhere. It felt like you're not you anymore. And that's the worst part of being alive. You can't be you. Does it scare you? This kind of thing. I was an athlete. I mean, I'm still an athlete, but I can't compete. Where's my purpose? I'm a coach. I can't coach. Where's my purpose? I'm a student. I don't go to campus. Where's my purpose? It's those kind of things. It screws your mind. Yeah, and I'm not even surprised. I mean, this is very sensitive, but we all know that the rise of the number of cases on suicides and the rates, it's just very sad to see. Sometimes it's not just about financial stuff, but sometimes it's all within.
How did you deal with it though?
How did I deal with it? I just try to find as much platforms because, like I said again, I love talking to people, even if it means talking to strangers. Yeah. Sounds creepy, but no. Just strangers.
Sometimes strangers give the best conversations.
Yeah, exactly. And I was talking to this friend of mine, which I've never met. He's Korean. Wait, is he? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Well, we met. Maybe catfish, maybe not, whatever. But he did say to me this. He said, the best kind of friends are the ones that you've never met and you don't know them. You get what I mean? Let's say, we have, let's say when we were younger, we have, what is that, pen friends or whatever?
Pen pals.
Yeah, pen pals, those kind of things. We don't get to meet them. We forgot about them as well. But they are some of the nicest people in the world because you know why? He said this to me. The reason why strangers on the internet or whatever, I'm not talking about scammers. Strangers are very nice to you or whatever because we don't know each other's background.
Okay.
We don't know our past, each other's past and whatever. So we don't have, the judgment does not come before we say things. You get what I mean?
The judgment does
like,
not
let's
come.
say I know, like, let's say this person, let's say as an example, he killed animals before. I say I love cats, and he killed a few cats before. Then the judgment will stop me like, fuck, why am I talking to this guy? I love cats and he killed cats. Let's say if I don't know him, let's say we don't know each other, those kind of things. You know? But we became friends without knowing each other's backgrounds.
Got it.
There wouldn't be any blockage or whatever before I see things.
I would extend that to relationship as well, would you say? Because it's always the beginning of relationships.
I can't relate.
Bro, I mean, I suppose past relationships are.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
Things are more exciting in the beginning because you don't really know someone. And as you get to know someone, that's like, shit, I know your whole life history already.
That's the thing, but they're not living in the past anymore. So, like, to any couple out there, just because your girlfriend or whatever has a bad past doesn't mean you have to live or think about that.
Okay.
Yeah. If he's or she's a nice person, I'll just leave it at that.
It's a major sidetrack. But
yeah, I mean, also because I'm single as fuck, that's why I say those kind of shit.
the whole world knows you're single now. Let's try to change that, guys. If,
yeah, oh my God. This is July, right? 1st of July, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. 1 month, 2 days later, marks my 5th year of being single. Can you imagine that? Oh my God.
Okay, this is not going to be part of the rapid fire question, but I think everyone wants to know, why are you single?
Why am I single? I mean, at the start of, the moment when I became single, it felt like I felt the need to get someone new. But when not rebound. I just want to meet new people, those kind of things. But when I passed that 3rd year, 4th year, I think I get too comfortable being single.
There are benefits to being single, would you say?
There are benefits. I mean, I won't say it's benefit. It is the perks of being single. It's not benefits at all. I mean, like, people say, oh, you're single. It's so beneficial because no one to disturb you, this and that and that. I'm like, that's not a benefit, bro. That is the nature of being single, and that is the nature of being or having someone. It's not really benefits. I don't see it as benefit. It's the nature of it. Yeah. But it does get lonely sometimes. We're all humans. That's why I like to talk to a lot of people. I do my Q&As often. Sorry, my mouth was on the other side. And dating apps. Yeah, always on it.
Hasn't worked out though.
Not really. I'm there. Like, a lot of people don't believe me when I say, like, I'm on dating sites. Oh, I mean, not sites, apps. Just talk and meet new people. That's all. Like, the first intention is not really, do you want to be with me? No, not those kind of things. I just want to talk to people first. If I like it, if the chat goes for a long time, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, maybe I pop the questions off.
I think that's the best start. Like, you don't start with some form of intention, right? That's how guys become simps, like, in a way, right?
I don't care. Okay, a lot of people think simping is a bad thing, but I don't care. If you love someone, just simp as much as you want to.
The word love shouldn't come out in the first few dates, lah. That's my opinion. No, but what I'm trying to say is that I find that the traditional sense of dating is, even with online apps, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense because I think text is limiting on its own. I was just talking to a friend of mine. I think if you want to meet someone and truly know someone, right, you have to and you should go through some experiences with them. That's why maybe certain dates that I enjoyed in the past were like dates where we went hiking, dates when we went to play sports, dates where you go to play pool or whatever it is. You get to just do things outside of just sitting down or just texting. And obviously that's hard to do now, I want to say. But what would you say? This is the part where the questions become more juicy, right? What would you look for in the opposite?
What do you mean by juicy? Example?
Juicy questions. Who would you criteria in looking for a partner?
Criteria. Well, first thing first, I just want. Well, I won't say I want. Okay, the person or any person out there should know what they want in life. Should have a goal, because I don't like stagnant.
The word that you used was complacency.
Yeah, complacent. He should know what he wants in life. Okay. You don't have to have directions, because it's a journey, you don't know where you're going, but you know where you want to be at.
So
Whether you make it or you don't, that's fine. At least you try. Because I'm trying to be the top strongman as well. But if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But I'm not going to stop trying. Those kind of things, Obviously, I want someone to be very nice, kind. Maybe talks a lot as well.
Okay.
Because I like to chat. One thing about me when I drive, right? When I don't chat, when I don't talk, I'll fall asleep. I'm not even kidding. That's why it's dangerous for me sometimes. Basically those kind of things. Because when I was much younger, of course I have more criteria and whatnot. But as I get older, not really. But then as you get older, also you tend to be picky.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I like my guys Twinkie. Yeah.
Wait, Twinkie, what does that mean?
Twinkie basically describes, in the community, there's a lot of terms. Like for me, I don't know, some people call me bear, some people call me muscle bear. It doesn't really matter to me. I think I'm just making...
That's cute.
I guess. Yeah, some of the straight guys associate that. Anyway, Twinks is basically a smooth... you see people long guy here and there. All the skinny guys, smooth, no hair, this and that. Very pretty boy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Okay. Korean guys are essentially, would you say, Korean guys are pretty?
Also.
I have no idea what that means, but the tone that you said it in helps me understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Annyeong.
I'm going to ask one more question.
I have this, I have this client, right? He's very close to me. I've been teaching him for almost 2 years now.
Yeah. And
he's still learning from me. Because I've been watching dramas, I didn't even tell him. I just posted on my story and he was like, he called me boss. That's just his formal way of calling me. It's like, boss. You know what? He's Chinese. You know what? I think this would help you. He sent me an ebook of learning Hangul. Is it Hangul or what? It's
Korean language?
Korean language, yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, 200 pages? And I was like, wow, thank you. And I've been trying to learn lah. I feel my time.
Okay, nice. Productive learning. Well, hopefully when the pandemic's over, you can head over there.
Actually, I was planning before pandemic. I was planning to go to Thailand, Taiwan, and what do you call this? Korea. Yeah.
Best places to go.
Have you been there before?
2 out of 3, Taiwan and Thailand.
Yeah. Thailand is amazing. I love Thailand. Taiwan, I've never been to Taiwan, but I think it's amazing. I watch a lot of Taiwanese dramas. Korean, I don't really watch a lot of dramas, but I follow a lot of the idols. Obviously, the life is different from a normal person.
Did you queue up for BTS McNuggets?
Actually, no, I'm not so crazy about it because I don't really... Well, I only know 2 songs from BTS. The funny part was I was so curious about what's the fuss about all these BTS meals or whatever, but I was too lazy to get it. Okay, I stayed at home, and then suddenly when I went to the dining table, I saw BTS meals. My brother bought it.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. And I tried it like, wow, so nice, yeah. It don't sue us, yeah. It's very normal, eh. It's just
the sauce is different.
Yeah, the sauce in it, and the sauce tastes like tartar sauce in it.
One of the causes of the recent spike in the COVID, I gotta say. So, okay. Well, last question I gotta ask. Okay. And you know what? We can honestly edit this out if it's something you're not comfortable answering.
No problem.
But I feel that you are an awesome spokesperson. Mm-hmm. You're very comfortable in your own skin.
Of course.
And through social media, through all your channels, you've never been shy about revealing who you are. And what kind of backlash have you experienced from that?
Well, in reality, in real life, I don't receive any backlash. I guess part of it because I'm much bigger than a normal person, and they don't really have the guts to, verbally hurt me face to face or physically. They don't. Okay. But cyberbullying, I experienced it a lot. A lot of harassment, this and that.
There's one video that I saw of you online. I commented to this asshole who commented this. I think you were flipping a tire strongman competition.
Yeah.
And then everyone said, oh, this pride of Malaysia, this guy is doing great. It's amazing. Then one comment just said that, yeah, sedih lah dia gay.
Yeah.
Then I'm
It's
like,
just kind of things. Okay, it all comes down back to your sexuality or whoever that you like has nothing to do with your credibility. All right? It has nothing to do with what you're capable of doing. Yeah, so what? If you're this and that, as long as you do good things and you enjoy it, who are you to say things? You know, that's what I see. And probably if this gets posted, a lot of people will hate me, but I don't really care about it. You see? Like, I have always been the person I am today and back then. And I'm pretty sure I've done a lot of things, a lot of great things to my family, to people outside. And I feel like there's no need for you to close your eyes and just judge me because of that one thing that I'm different from the others, you know. And just because you are straight, you're heteros, you are the norm, doesn't mean you are clean, pure, those kind of things, you know. That's why I feel, yeah, I see a lot of people, right? Okay, especially in, not gonna mention the race or whatever, but we get the G's of it, we get the idea, right? People gamble, people this, people that, people this, prostitution, people sleep around, whatever, this and that, eat pork, okay? Whatever that's against the religion, and suddenly one person is gay. They go crazy. They snap. Oh, he's gay. But all of your wrongs, all of the sins, the forbidden stuff that you've done, you never bat an eye. But when someone is abnormal, you hate them for no damn reason. And what if he's more of a saint than you are? You get what I mean? Yeah. That's why I don't really bother about people hating me. Yeah, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, like, you know, putting myself out there is really a good filter because, you know, I'm not hiding myself. I'm not screaming that I am who I am. You know, when people ask, then of course I tell them. But the thing is, when people know and they disagree or dislike it, it acts as a natural filter for me. Like, obviously, I'm not going to tell you you can stay or leave. But if you don't like it, then have it your way. Bye-bye. Yeah. It's easy.
Have you lost friends because of this?
A lot of friends, especially in high school.
Oh, wow.
I get judged a lot and this and that. Well, obviously because, you know, government school and everything. Yeah, I stay in touch a lot. I stay in touch with most of my Chinese friends, but the Malay ones. Okay. And I don't care. I mean, I don't care. We all have each other's lives. Yeah, as long as we're happy and we're doing good things.
Bro, the uncle that you push up the hill, the senior citizens that you support.
That's why I don't want to share it because people might use that over and over again. And it feels like bragging to me and I don't like that.
No, the reason why I bring that up again is because I feel that, yeah, as you said, right, shouldn't discount your credibility of who you are just because you're this one different aspect. Yeah. But again, thank you for being brave to share that. I think
I'm always brave. I'm always comfortable.
That's something I've always been very inspired by you. I think you're very open, you're very candid, and you are a great spokesperson for all the communities that you represent. Yeah. So where can people find you, Zarol?
Well, if you have Instagram, you can just search my name, Zarol Alfiyan.
You're on Reddit as well, right?
Zarol Alfiyan. And then you probably can see me. Yeah, it's not that hard to see me anyway. You can see my thumbnail there. But yeah, I'm not really active on Facebook or whatever. It's mostly IG. And I do Q&As. If you guys have, well, nice things to ask, good questions, because I get a lot of nasty questions sometimes.
Seriously?
You know? Yeah, of course. But I don't really reply to them, or if I do, I make fun of them. So if you have any questions, you can just ask me whenever I drop my Q&As. And, you know, during these hard times, I do it much more often. Maybe like every other day. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm free.
So if people are searching for your coaching service, they can head over to Instagram and ask you as well.
Yeah, you can just DM me, drop me a DM. But sometimes, I don't know why, but the DMs go into my pending box, so I don't really get the message. So I have to recheck. But if you are keen to know what powerlifting is about, strongman is about, this and that, or even if you're struggling and you just want to have a chat, you can just DM me. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you
pleasure.
for. I know you are gonna refute this. I think that you being a world-class strongman. Last time I'm gonna use that. I think that
this guy.
after today, I feel like that would be the last thing that I would put under the list of achievements of who you are, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I thank you for opening up. I thank you for sharing. Thank you for being on this podcast.
My pleasure. It's
I
my
put in a
pleasure.
lot of
Thank you
value
for
out of
inviting
it.
me as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Araso.
What does that mean again?
Araso is like understood.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
okay. It's like, okay.
Okay.
It's like, let's say, Brad, do you want to sleep later? Araso.
Araso.
It's like, it's more to alaso, but I can't really do it. Still learning.
Can you help me say goodbye in Korean to the audience?
Basically, when you say hi, you say annyeong.
Yeah.
That's informal. When you say bye as well, it's annyeong.
Annyeong as well?
Yeah. When you say, but formally, when you say hi, it's like annyeonghaseyo. But when you say bye, annyeonghaseyo.
Annyeonghaseyo.
But those are formal.
Okay.
Yeah. But when you say just like annyeong, it's like bye.
Annyeong.
Yeah. Oh my god, you look like Korean. Hello.
That is it.